Big news hit the Magnolia State earlier this week when Rivals 250 wide receiver Braylon Burnside backed off his Mississippi State commitment. Burnside had been committed to the Bulldogs since early June and seemed to be all locked in to Zach Arnett. But as the Bulldogs have struggled on the field this season, especially with some offensive miscues, they're struggling to put up points on the board. Burnside decided it was best to back off his commitment and reopen his recruitment. It didn't take long for Burnside to take some visits. He was up in Oxford visiting Ole Miss shortly after that decision was made to decommit and reopen things and, weigh all of his options. Ole Miss was a big factor in his recruitment prior to his commitment to Mississippi State. So it only makes sense for the Rebels to continue recruiting him, seeing if they can get him back in the class. Lane Kiffin and that staff have done a tremendous job of locking down some of the premier talent inside the state borders. And Burnside certainly qualifies with that. He's one of the most electric players in the state of Mississippi, can play either side of the ball at wide receiver, even in the secondary, has some value on special teams. He's a well-rounded, dynamic threat. If you're looking for a bit of a wild card, you might be able to keep an eye on Illinois. His quarterback, Trey Petty, on the high school level, is committed to the Illini. You also have Luke Altmaier, another former Starkville, Mississippi quarterback, up in Illinois as well. So there's some connections there, but for all intents and purposes, this does seem to be an Ole Miss Mississippi State battle again. I wouldn't count out the Bulldogs completely to get them back in the class. You don't always see a decommitment get back in, but get back in the fold to their original program. But he is a hometown kid in Starkville. The Bulldogs, have built those relationships. Wide receiver coach, Trap Bumpus has been recruiting Burnside. He's really tied with Mississippi State commitment. JJ Harrell, a Rivals 100 prospect at receiver. So there's still some things that the Bulldogs can sell. But right now, Ole Miss might be the team to watch. They got him up on campus. They're the team that's scoring points. They're top 10 in the college football playoff. So they got, some flair to them. They're attractive, especially for wide receiver as they, throw the ball around the field. But we're going to have to wait a little bit. Burnside doesn't plan to make another commitment, another announcement into the Under Armour All-American game. But right now it seems to be another, in-state battle. Can the Bulldogs get him back, or will the Rebels win out? That's something we'll keep an eye on down the stretch of the recruiting process.